Hey everybody, welcome back. On today's episode, we're going to finish up my mini bike. So I did get it running and driving. It was really fun to drive. It ripped around. It hit like 35 top speed. But we blew up the motor. It somehow got metal into the cylinder and it destroyed it, locked it up, and then I unseized it. But it had no spark and no compression. But no worries, we just picked up a new motor and I kind of already modified it. But let me pull it out for you and show you. This will be the motor we throw into the bike. This is a 196cc to 212cc motor, really easy to modify. I already throw one on a Chinese carburetor, that's what I had in an intake. On this video, we're going to swap this motor into the bike, so we're going to have to chop off the bottom of this swing arm here. As you see, we're going to have to chop this off and rebuild all this for this to fit. It will fit, barely, but it will. I have used one of these motors before on a mini bike. I hit about 40 on it, so it will be a little fast, but it puts a lot more torque out. And then what we're also going to do is fix the looseness of my steering up here, and just go around and fix anything else that needs to be finished on the bike, and then we'll go for some riding. So let's get to chopping apart the frame and getting the motor kind of fixated and mounted in before we start welding up and making mounts for it. But let's get to it, and yeah, should be fun, should be easy, and yeah, hope you enjoy this short little time lapse of cutting apart the mini bike frame. Alrighty, so I just finished cutting off all the little metal parts off seam. We have a temporary exhaust pipe. Yes, it's going to be straight pipe. I will design to straight pipe motors, and it's going to just be easier to make right now until I can get a muffler. We got the engine plate cut out with some brackets already cut out for it and everything. You know, all it's gonna really do is this will go right here. It'll fit. Show you. Just like that. I have a marker line on it, and it'll fit just like that on my bike. I'll weld it all up. Yeah, look just like that, and the motor will just sit in the cradle. But besides that, we're just gonna weld it up, and then we're gonna try to do all the chain and everything and try to get it running and driving. So let's get to welding, and yeah, enjoy the time lapse. That's not bad for welding with galvanized steel. Could be better. I've welded better, but you know, it's not bad. It'll hold together. All right, now let's get to finishing up that. We just welded up, where is it? We welded up the exhaust pipe over here. Now we just got to throw the motor in and drill some holes and work on the chain, throttle, gas, and we should be set. So let's get to it, and yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video so far. Oh, shoot. Let's go back to the video. Just had to take a break for a second. Alright, just back from break. Eating my little treat, you know. Everyone's got to take a break when working. So we're going to try to fit this in here now. Might be a little tricky. I think it's supposed to go the other way. Good. Oh yeah, I can just sit on the frame. That's better. There we go, the motor fits right in, there's no problems. Let me adjust that camera real quick to fit for you guys to see it. Motor fits right in. I don't see any too much of problems besides having to move a few little things here and there. Move this back. I think I was supposed to drop it a little bit more. But that should do. Got most of it fit in, at least. Well, there you go. Got most of it bracketed in. Grab that exhaust pipe, it's probably super hot. Yep. Whew. It's a hot little piece of metal. It's not too bad. Needs some work. What we'll do is we'll put a little bend in here, and then we'll angle the pipe down. We'll make a see, sits like this. There we go. So now that it sits like that, all we gotta do is just make all I gotta do is take the 2 bolts here and mount it in. I'm probably also gonna make a little bracket from here to here, just with some square tubing, just so we can get these 2 back in. And then clearance on the forks works well. And you think, oh no, it's too tight, the exhaust is gonna hit the seat. We're gonna bend and cut this. And one little thing, it may be bumping the frame up here, but that's fine because this bike is compressible. It then goes down even farther at sea. So it's actually a lot safer than you think. We'll have to do some cutting and a little bit fixing here and there, but it should be all good. So let's get to finishing cutting up and welding, and then we should be good. So let's get to it. I've seen I welded up those extra brackets and fixed the exhaust. Now we can throw in the motor. It's a little heavy, but you know, the trickiest part is trying to get the motor in. Now I gotta just sit on it. You guys can't tell, but this mini bike suspension is so nice. Like, how it works is when you sit on it, the rear end gets farther apart from the front wheel, and the engine moves right. But the engine moves barely because it's really close to the center point of the swing arm. So it basically does is it gives you normal suspension, but it helps with being able to control the bike more, because like if you full throttle it and you hit a bump or something, the suspension is going to compress, and instead of you wheeling like a normal bike, you're going the tires are going to get farther apart, meaning it's harder to wheelie because for safety reasons. But you can still wheelie it like a normal bike. It just because you'll be back here more for wheeling, but for hitting huge bumps and accidental wheeling is a lot harder because of the tires expanding, because it'll make it harder to lift because more the center point of mass, like the driver, the center point mass changes because of the wheel distance. So I thought it was a cool idea. I actually am planning on building a second one of these. This is model 1. Model 1's just gonna be for me and my brothers to enjoy, but the next one, that one's gonna be something. We're gonna throw in a nice little dirt bike engine, like a XR80 or XR70, some good decent sized dirt bike motor. But yeah, I think the suspension, I wanted to really try it out. And now that I know that it works, I can start making a ton of these because my experimental works. So I'm going to try to make a ton of these and try to sell them off, you know? But now we're just starting in the motor bolts. I don't know how many I have here. And surprisingly, I actually have bolts that work. Shocker, right? Alright, so we just got to put in there. I'm going to show you the exhaust before I turn off the camera so I can just quickly tighten down the engine. But basically the exhaust will just basically like this. Have to bend this out a little, and then this should just tighten down. But yeah, the exhaust will just be straight pipe from now. Muffler will go back for fun. That way it'll also keep out the mud because the exhaust pressure will push it back. But I'm gonna tighten it down and everything and get everything finalized before we can put on the gas tank and everything and start it up. So be right back. Alrighty, we just got everything mounted up together. Engine turns over really well. And it's gonna sound really good with the no exhaust pipe on it. I'm gonna really like it. Let me grab the gas tank real quick and bolt it on, and maybe we can try starting it. I have no clue if it will start because I have not tuned this carburetor. It came off one of those Chinese ATVs that I yet have to make a video about. And about the other tractor, the YouTube short one, the ATV tractor thingy, whatever that is. That one will be a video soon. We're working on a few things for you guys, but we just got bolt up this gas tank here. It's not bad. I built this in a while. It drives fine. Besides the loosey little steering handlebars, everything's fine. You can drive it with no hands even. It's surprising. So, to tell you why and how I broke it, I was visiting a buddy before he was going to college, and I was showing off to him, right? So I told him, where's some bumps we could hit, like, to test up the suspension? He's like, oh, you could try the swamp. Well, I did. I went through the swamp, made it about 10 feet, I hit a stump, I flew in the air, it cracked the frame right down here, and it was just wrecked, and the motor kind of just blew up after that. So I'm like, okay, new motor, new time to redesign this. Anyways, back to what I was saying about my story. I had to grab some fuel line. I didn't want to make it long. But yeah, so I drove it through the swamp and I cracked my frame on it. So I just decided to rebuild it. And honestly, I'm not going to complain about the bike's durability because I knew I put a weak metal bar there. I knew it wouldn't last. But surprisingly, for just putting this together real quick, just having fun, you know, it's held together really well, and I'm shocked because as a newer engineer, you could say, like a new guy to this stuff, I'm surprised I built something that actually held together. So, but I'm going to make another one with like a 100cc, 80cc, 250cc 4-stroke or 2-stroke motor. It's going to have the same experimental suspension, but not experimental anymore because I know it works because this one was a successful bike. It may have other flaws like the seat and the steering and the chain being on that side, but those are things I can improve for the next bike. So the next bike is going to be our best build yet, besides like the lawnmower, the ATV, and stuff like that. That's just for fun, for you guys to enjoy, for me and my family to enjoy. But now we can try to start the bike. I just gotta turn on the fuel. Thanks for listening to my little story about how I broke the mini bike and how I fixed it. That is cracked. Let me go grab some pliers and cut that. Gas. And I don't know where I set my pliers. Yay. Here we go. Make sure to always have your pliers, kids. It works out. These pliers are very handy to have. Now, all we're gonna do is take real quick, bend it up because we don't want to leak gas everywhere. Have a fresh cut on it. Push it in. and then lock the seal. Now we can turn the fuel, and it doesn't leak. Boom. Let that fill up. I'm going to grab some starting fluid. I'm going to turn the camera your way. Or, the bike there, you guys can see. This is what it looks like on the other side. I put on a different cover because the other one was crunched, and I had this from my old mini bike I built. So now we're going to spray some starting fluid in. Now be careful, this stuff is very flammable. We're going to try to just that sounds good. Alright, so it did run. We do need a muffler, an air filter, idle. We need to connect the throttle on it, but that's for next video. Thanks for watching. I'm putting together a new motor, getting the bike kind of set up, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Let's hit 100 subscribers.